Good morning, Maya Arbak. Here's the plan. It's day 50, which is rather unbelievable, but it is. Day 50 of the build here. And today they will be continuing to put up the runner beams inside the house. They'll be continuing on the front wall to do the tie beam, the forms, and then the concrete pour, along with the remaining upper parts of those columns on that wall. On the south wall, the basketball court, they will be extending that wall higher and connecting it on both sides to the walls on either side of the basketball court. The forms in the carport and storage room will get continued attention. Not sure what else. What could possibly go wrong? I just want to take a moment to thank everybody for the comments they've been posting, generally speaking on the YouTube channel, occasionally through some form of direct messaging. The frequency of those comments is increasing, and that's fantastic. They're very often educational, at least to me, and the more of these things I get, the more I can potentially try to pass some of that information on. So please keep adding the comments, and where I think I can pass information on, I will. I'll highlight one thing that we've had some comments on in the last few days, and that is saw cutting of concrete. There were a couple of posts, and then there were follow-ups to those, about saw cutting concrete as a mechanism to try to help to protect from cracking. That cracking might be coming through seismic activity or other things. The end result is that I ended up with effectively two different sets of advice, and so I sent it upstairs for review by the third umpire, which will possibly mean something to Graham in Cebu, Philippines. May mean less to Nympha, a bit unfair, but I asked for more opinions, is the bottom line. And in the end, in our case, having also spoken to our builder, we will not be using this saw cutting technique, which is effectively deliberately cutting areas of the floor, cutting out some of that depth. But after talking to various different people, including our builder, we won't be doing that here. That doesn't mean we're right. It just means that I have had the opportunity to try to understand it a little bit. I can't explain it in any great way to you guys. You'll have to go online and look at saw cutting concrete. But it is just an issue that if you're building your own place, you might want to be aware of and get further advice on. And it all stems from the fact that not everybody, a lot of people are now sending in comments. Please continue. They are hugely appreciated. I will try to always respond. It may take me a day or two on occasion or more, but I'll try to always get to your comments and give some kind of response to it, even if it's only an emoji of a happy face. But I think, if you've made the effort to put a comment in, at the very least you deserve me to respond in some way, and I'll try to do that. So, back to today's build. We'll see what's going on. We'll start at the house, where our multitasking engineer Raphael, is watering down the columns again, helping the curing process while talking on the phone. This is a man of many talents. So in here today, they will be continuing to put up the runner beams. I imagine they'll make quite a lot of progress today. There's scaffolding again going up all over the place. So we should see quite a change in the number of beams by the end of today. Maya Babak! So, how do you keep Juanito quiet? You just can't. He's irrepressible. He's fantastic. So yesterday, this front wall was basically all about forms and beams, putting the beams in place. Today, as you can hopefully make out, concrete is going in on these tie beams, and that means concrete will also be going into the upper part of the columns. They've still got quite a few forms left to put in place, but I would imagine that by the end of today we may have a fairly large amount of this front wall top beam concreted in, along with probably all of the remaining columns until the last one, at least the last one for now, before they build those last 2 sections of wall. Right, this clip might get me in trouble with YouTube with that music going, hopefully not. We are now an hour and a half in, and these guys are wasting no time in getting this wall higher. I think yesterday, if I remember correctly, I think we were at 3 levels of hollow block. We're already at 4 levels above the tie beam for half, more than half. So again, I'm sure by the end of today, well, as sure as I can be, we will be up to the height of the wall on either side when they finish today. A lot of shadow there, I'll try and highlight it in editing. It's late afternoon, it's 3:30, and everybody here has gone because it's done. At least it's done to the height to match the rest of the wall so far. So all of this section, they've got it up to that height, and they did not have to move the basketball net, and it's now anchored into a more solid wall. So son Aldrin will be happy. Let's go and find out where they've gone. So this is where they are, at the front. And they made a very solid start on digging out where this side of the front wall and then the gates will be. So we're going across from this point where the wall will run up to, and from here it goes back across. I can't remember the width of the gates, but I'm going to guess it's roughly where they are now. So
week, I guess completely, we'll have possibly 2 sides front wall, maybe a bit more. And looking at it from this side of the front wall, we have columns poured. We have, I believe, concrete poured in the tie beam down to where O'Donnell and Juanito on the first bit of scaffolding are stood, and they're working on forms going down beyond that. And over in the corner there, we've got Joel, and I can't make it out from here, working on more forms. Really good progress here. We're apparently with the singing crew, which at the moment is the 3Rs. We've got Richard, we've got Ronwell, and right now the beautiful voice you hear in the green hat is JR. What are you singing, JR? What's the song? It's the Friday afternoon singing crew. Love it. Love it when they're happy. Yeah, by the way, forms up everywhere. Not quite in the storage room yet. Still got some work to do there. But forms around most, if not all, of the carport area. And at the risk of being boring, well, even more boring than usual, forms. Forms going up all over the place, those runner beams going up all over the place inside the house. So this side of the house, the north side, looks like most of those runner beams are in place. Not quite all yet. And they're slowly spreading their way across the house in this direction. Still a lot to do, but they've put a lot more in today. And this has become Oliver's regular hangout. You want something welded? Oliver's your man. He spends a lot of time in this area with his welding gun without a welding mask, just with sunglasses. That's what he's comfortable with. And Ali here is prowling his usual area. You can almost always find Ali working on rebar here. This is clearly his, well, let's say one of his skills. He may have many more, but he's most of the time to be found in here. There you go. Ali says hello. The quiet one. Never speaks. But there you go, saying hello. Say hello back, drop him a comment. Drop a like for Ali. And once again, Masawa is trying to gamble her way to pay for the house. Are you winning?
Yeah. Vince is winning.
Vince isn't even playing.
Sorry. G is winning.
Well, that's no use. I'll cut away and I'll come back in a minute and you say, no, I'm winning. It's the end of the day. I'm not going to do another walk around. We finished the last one about 45 minutes ago. So, just to recap, we now have a south wall which extends from the front gate, well, there isn't a gate yet, but where the front gate will be, all the way back in this direction, Dizzy Pills again, up past the basketball court and up to the end where we take a left, or we will take a left at some point, and build the wall in the last remaining section over at that side. So we've got a south wall, we've now got the very beginnings of the, as we look at it, the right side of the front wall, just a trench, no wall yet, but that I'm sure they'll get on with that pretty quickly. So we really are starting to get most of the front of the property with some degree of security. And over here we had a lot more tie beams. No need to look at those again now. I do have a question for you about the drone footage earlier. I'm going to show in a minute, overlaying this, I'm going to show the house layout again, because I'm sure if you're looking on a mobile phone, that drone footage with the overlay of the ground floor layout is very hard to see. But I would like some comments on how we can do this a bit better. So drop me comments about house layout, about that drone footage, about whether you could make out the ground floor layout, whether it was too long, too short. Any comments? I'm a new guy at this. Help me out. Help me to make this better if I can. But that's the end of the day, day 50, and unbelievable progress, in my opinion, with nothing to judge it against. I've got no yardstick, but unbelievable progress in my mind. 50 days from nothing to this. The original builder's schedule called for a total build of 8 to 10 months. Sorry, no it didn't, 10 to 12 months. And there's no reason to change that right now. I know the finishing takes, or can take, an extraordinarily long time. But if this is 50 days, are we going to need another 315 days potentially to finish the house? Maybe we do. But what a great start for our half-century day. Great progress. Right, see you tomorrow.